Welcome, everyone, to Todd's World, the wildly opinionated news hour, your source of truth in a world in which it seems to have largely disappeared. So,
We
how
are
you
all
doing?
about the
Carrie's with
truth.
me.
Hello.
How's it going today?
It's going great.
Now that we're up and running, we were having technical difficulties. All my clips I play off of X, and
hmm
X wasn't wanting to bring up any of the clips. I thought it was perhaps another deep state plot against Todd's World.
Against Todd's world. They're like, shut down his Twitter,
But I
his
think I've
X.
got enough up to where we're such broadcast professionals that we can make a show out of almost anything.
No, it's no big deal. We do this all the time.
Thanks for joining us today, guys. We are so happy to have you.
hmm
So, Carrie, paying any attention to any news this week, or are you just partying still?
Just a little. I've paid a little bit of attention. I'm just working a lot right now,
Oh,
but
working,
I'm
not
working.
partying.
No, not partying as much. The
That's
the
too bad.
kids are gone and recovering. And
Back to being a grown-up.
back, I know, really grown up, like doing grown up things. Budgets and stuff, budgets and shit.
No fun grown-up things, just grown-up
I
things.
know, right? Why are we in such a rush when we're
Hmm.
teenagers or whatever? But no, it's good. I paid attention just a little bit, kind of saw a few things.
Yeah, what do you
Mm,
see percolating out there? What's on your radar? What's on Carrie's radar this week?
Oh gosh, what's
Because
on
I've
my
got
radar?
clips lined up, but I like to hear maybe there's something I missed.
Um, Shoot, when you say that, I need to make notes or something because when you say it, my brain goes poof, and I'm
Did
thinking, what did I hear about?
you hear about it?
Um, I've
Biden and
heard.
his health.
Yeah, we talked about Biden and his health last week.
Yeah.
Um,
But
I've
that story
heard,
is still out there. That story is still,
yeah, I mean,
there's
I'm
a lot of
hearing,
people running for cover.
yeah, you
There's
think
a
so?
lot of,
I'm hearing a lot about Jake Tapper's book.
hmm.
You know, people are talking about that, about, the shock that people were
It's
covering
amazing.
up. The
They
the
never knew.
I know we
As
were
if.
just we
As
were
if the
just
media
crazy.
wasn't in on it from the beginning up
I
to
know.
their eyeballs.
I'm shocked how stupid they think we are. That's the shocking part of the story to me. And heard a little bit about, okay, so I heard that the House of Representatives passed
The big, beautiful bill.
the big beautiful bill.
Hmm.
Um, what else? Oh, and the sad story about the young Jewish couple assassinated in the street. It's terrible by some Free Palestine guy,
I just saw that.
Rodriguez.
I saw
Yeah,
that today, and
it's awful.
I don't know a lot. I saw it was another Maryland man.
Oh,
It's
really?
amazing. Yeah.
Jeez.
I think anyway,
Well,
maybe this isn't the same thing. And maybe this post won't even come up on Twitter.
okay.
It's real possible. No, this is what it said.
Okay.
No, it's not the
It's,
same thing. This is, we've got a lot of poor Maryland men out there.
I
But this is
guess.
another poor Maryland man who just happens to be an MS-13 gang member. I don't
Okay.
know how so many poor Maryland men get caught up in the
Is he
MS-13 tangle.
is the guy who shot them? Is he
Well,
an
I'm trying to, I don't,
MS-13? His
here's what
last
it
name's
says.
Rodriguez.
No,
I
this
just
is,
okay.
he pleaded guilty over the killing and dismemberment of a 15-year-old
Oh, God.
Frederick High School student in Baltimore. He's an illegal
Oh,
immigrant.
he
Uh,
dismembered her?
yeah, he's an illegal immigrant, and up until now just an innocent Maryland man who happened to be part of the MS-13 gang,
Who
and
probably,
somehow he ended up dismembering someone. Like
oh my
he
gosh.
just slipped and fell like any of us can, and we
Like,
start dismembering
and he
people.
slipped and fell over the United States border,
The
like so
migrant
many
worked
of
with
the
a
MS-13 members do.
Migrant worked with another group of migrant MS-13 members in the February 2023 killing. The boy's dismembered body was found weeks
Oh, it's a
later
boy?
in separate graves in the Gam. So they dismembered this kid and they put him parts of him in different graves.
Gross and
And
sad,
but
tragic.
you know what I think is the most important thing is that he gets due process. And in
Right.
a lot of it. I mean,
Definitely.
years and years and years worth of due process because so many people out there need to be dismembered. There's a lot of 15-year-old boys out there. This guy is in a sanctuary city, and that's what he was brought here for.
Yep.
The dismemberment of 15-year-old high school boys.
Right.
Thank you, Joe Biden. Thank you, Alejandro Mayorkas. Thank you, Tish James.
Tish, Tish, Tish. Every time you say your name, I'm gonna do that.
So anyway, what were
It's
you talking?
horrible.
You were. I
So
did hear a little something about some
yeah, it's
A
sad.
Jewish couple that got killed, but
Young.
I don't know the any of the details. I guess
They were at an event. They're like
where
they
was
work.
it? Was it in Florida?
It was in DC. Nope.
Oh,
I think it was
okay.
in DC. I think it was in DC. I'm not like I don't know all the details, but young couple due to be engaged soon. Really sad. And yeah, they
Hmm.
were at an event in DC. I think they're in a capacity like they worked for
No
maybe
results for Jewish
they
couple DC. How could that be
yeah,
on
it was
X?
an event like at a museum or something, but they're like they I don't know if they work for the embassy, like work at the embassy or something, but the guy, like his family lives in Israel. So like he's
Oh, I did. Was it some Free Palestine guy?
yes,
Yeah,
who
I did
just
see
like
something
shot them
about
in the
this. I was
street.
trying to
Mm.
remember. Okay, here it is. I
And when
found it.
he fessed up to it and when they arrested him, he's just shouting free
A
Palestine.
young Jewish couple were shot to death in Washington at a humanitarian event by someone screaming "Free Palestine."
Right.
Uh, yeah, yeah, they were young. Here's a picture of them. Too bad.
It's sad. I know. And like there are people who know her report that she's like a peace seeking, trying to find peaceful resolutions to these types of conflicts. And I'm just like, man, this guy just goes and decides whoever comes out of this event, I'm going to target. It's like you don't even know who these people are. And the killing of two random young Jewish people is not going to do anything to, free Palestine. It's just it's sad. So like
Why do so
needless.
many otherwise peaceful Maryland men feel compelled to these waves of crime? I don't understand.
I
They're
don't know.
all over.
I'm not trusting Maryland right now very much.
They're sanctuary
Is
cities.
are there is
They're a
Baltimore a
sanctuary
sanctuary?
city. Yeah, Maryland
Really?
is. Yeah,
Like
DC maybe too. I don't really know what DC is.
well, like is Baltimore, Maryland a sanctuary city? Is that what you're saying?
I
Okay.
no.
Or they're
Well,
just some
maybe.
area?
Whatever I just said about that Maryland guy, I can't
Hmm.
remember. Baltimore, yeah, Baltimore is.
Wow. That's wild.
Makes sense. I mean, they're having good success with it. I mean, we haven't had anybody dismembered in Allendale, so I mean, if we were a sanctuary city, maybe we'd get to join in the fun.
Join in the fun.
So who knows?
Maybe your courts would be full of MS-13 gang members too.
That'd be good, right?
Right.
So that was out
Goodness.
there.
That was out there.
There's still a little bit of this is JD Vance talking about Joe Biden and
Okay.
his health struggles, shall we say.
Okay, I want to hear some from JD Vance. I haven't heard much about him lately, and the more I hear about him, the better. Let's hear or from him. Oh, and
You know
remind me
what?
something
Speaking
else.
of JD Vance, I want to tell you this. I saw there was a picture. Man, we aren't going to be able to hear. We'll be able to hear him, but I don't think the oh, I forgot to bring up my audio settings, Carrie. How can I play any clips without my audio? You got
Get
to
your
turn them up
audio
and
going,
down.
man. We're professionals, but it's been a long week for us guys, so bear with
Barely this week.
us. Bear with us.
No, I saw a picture of JD Vance and I can't remember who else, his wife, and then
Hmm.
somebody else. I can't remember, another couple or somebody was flanking the other side of the new Pope, Pope Leo 14.
Yes,
And
how'd
I did
that?
not know that Pope Leo the 14 was a little person. He's
Okay, he's
four
a little
foot five, I think. He's like so
What?
much shorter than JD
Now, wait,
Vance.
wait, wait. Was this at the White House?
I don't know where it was. All I know is that there was a little guy dressed like a pope, and they called him Leo the 14th.
Get out. He's a little guy?
Yeah, I didn't know. Who knew?
That's kind of cute. Little
Frodo.
chick,
Why
little
didn't he
chica.
take the name Frodo? Pope Frodo the First.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
Oh my
here's
gosh.
JD talking about President Death the First,
Oh
Joe
boy.
Biden.
President Corpse.
Speaking of Joe Biden, sir, do you have Any thoughts on his diagnosis?
Yeah, look, I mean, first of all, of course, we wish the best for the former president's health. And,
That
it
ship
sounds
sailed
pretty
a long
serious,
time ago.
but hopefully he makes the right recovery. Like, I will say, whether the right time to have this conversation is now or at some point in the future, we really do need to be honest about whether the former president was capable of doing the job. And that's no, that you can separate the desire for him to have the right health outcome with the recognition that whether it was doctors or whether there were staffers around the former president, I don't think he was able to do a good job for the American
wives.
And
well, Dr. Jill, she's a
That's
doctor.
not because I
Wife
disagree with him on
doctors.
policy. That's because I don't think that he was in good enough health. In some ways, I blame him less than I blame the people around him. And why didn't the American people have a better sense of his health picture? Why didn't the American people have more
they're
accurate
stupid.
information about
Because
what
they didn't listen to Todd's world.
This is serious stuff. And this is the guy who carries around the nuclear football for the world's largest nuclear arsenal. This is not child's play, and we can pray for good health, but also recognize that if you're not in good enough health to do the job, you shouldn't be doing the job.
Good job, JD.
Yep.
He called it.
He did. I mean, it's what we're all in agreement on that.
JD's solid.
He really
not
is.
always exciting. Like Trump's always kind of funny and exciting. You never know what he's going to say. It doesn't matter what you pull up. You're like, I wonder what he's going to say.
You know what's great about JD though is that he's exciting when he responds like such quick and accurate truth when, the media's throwing curveballs at him and it's like he sees them a mile away. So I love that. That's how he's exciting.
Yeah, I like JD.
You love like the unpredictable, like, ooh, what kind,
I love
Trump,
the
gonna call the
entertainer in Trump, and there
Court?
is no better entertainer in the world than Donald J. Trump.
Donald Trump calls the Supreme Court losers when they disagree with him. Like that's what you like.
I do love it.
I am okay with
who doesn't know Trump's been posted on X for 4 years that Biden was a corpse.
Oh, like I know, right? Knows. Who doesn't know this exactly? So,
but there has been a lot of this is causing something of a hullabaloo out there in the media and in the government circles.
Really?
I think that it's a major CYA cover your ass operation going on.
Yes.
And that's what now Megyn Kelly, you probably didn't hear this, and so this will be fun. Megyn Kelly, Jake Tapper, for some reason, he really wanted to sell some books. He went on Megyn Kelly's show, and what you would think might happen did. Megyn did not
Did she
disappoint.
Call him out on the nonsense?
So here is 2 minutes of Megyn Kelly dismembering Jake Tapper.
Got it.
I don't know. I wouldn't call Megyn Kelly an innocent Maryland man, but she did a good job dismembering Jake Tapper.
Over here in my ecosphere, we were covering all of these. It wasn't just falling down. It was getting lost. It was some of the stuff you report in your...
You can't see the video. I got to fix this because Jake Tapper looks like he's never heard of any of this before. This is all brand new to him.
I know. Why are they so clueless? Like, do they believe their own lies or are they putting on an act so that they don't look like they were covering it all?
A Hobbit Pope? I never heard of that. Just that's the look on his face.
Book, we knew and we were reporting on, like the multi-jump cuts in the videos of him, where it was obvious he couldn't get through a 1-minute take. It was clear to us that he was using teleprompter, and there was some reporting on that at the time, all of which the White House was denying. Now, the current White House, I have some connections. With the Joe Biden White House, I had none. But you did. There was an attempted cover-up. It could only ever work if you allowed it, if the press allowed it. Some of us tried not to, and some of us were complicit.
The Biden White House did not like me.
I should point out, this is a montage. So this wasn't 2 minutes of Megyn unedited, just beating and dismembering Jake Tapper.
Oh, gotcha. This is
a montage of over the course of the program.
So this is kind of like a little
best
coverage.
Of clips,
This is kind of like a Joe Biden edited interview, is what you're saying? Okay.
Okay, I do not have great connections with the Biden White House.
Right. Well, clearly, you have a lot of sources. You say you talked to over 200 sources for this book.
So you have
the
some
election, you could have called and worked.
No, that's the point. is that they were not being honest.
Oh,
That's
Well,
the
how did the
point
Wall
that
Street
the
Journal
was
get it
lied
in June
to.
of 2024?
Case
And
Megan
Jake
didn't
Tapper
know
and
that.
CNN couldn't find sources for this story then before he dropped out?
Annie Linsky and Siobhan Hughes did an amazing job in their reporting. And they should be heralded, and I heralded them. I had them on my show right after the debate
Heralded them.
to talk about their great
He's
reporting.
like an angel.
But Annie
After
Linsky,
the debate. But you did not put them on when they published that story, which was before the debate.
correct. I don't know what the booking situation was, but it wasn't because I didn't want them. I'm sure I
Well,
said that
instead-
day, let's book. I'm sure I said that
Instead-
day, let's
I
book.
didn't know the
Did they-
booking
Yeah, you
situation.
put on a Democrat. And
I didn't know the booking situation. The
Just
only
sounds
reason
like
we
a-
didn't know about this is because whoever was doing the booking for CNN, they just didn't know.
Oh my gosh, he sounds like a kid making excuses for like why he didn't get, the project done in time. Doesn't he? Do you like,
Yes.
wow, I didn't know the booking schedule.
We got 30
and
seconds.
you allowed the
and then he dies. He's dead. She buries him in separate graves.
Democrat to rip on the
Oh.
report as a Rupert Murdoch sponsored hit piece.
No.
It's just
Megan.
well, that's
Megan,
what happened. Go ahead.
if we're going to do this,
No.
let's just stick to the facts here, okay?
Yeah.
When there is a
Tries to be
damaging
condescending.
report,
That's what I've been doing all along.
I'm
One
talking
of
about
us
what you just said.
didn't miss the biggest story of the century when it comes to presidential politics, and one of us did.
Oh,
Nice.
what do you think of Megan there?
You know what I love? I love how Jake tries to be condescending, and I'm sorry, I just don't think you can successfully be condescending with Megyn Kelly.
Well, I mean, I don't know what the booking situation was that day. What?
They didn't really like me. Like,
That day?
this was after. I didn't know. It's ridiculous. He sounds
I
like
can't believe-
such a joke.
I can't believe he did it. I was shocked. I thought, wow. I mean, this must be Jake Tapper's attempt to kind of shoehorn himself, find a new audience, because I think he knows that
Yep.
the Democrat audience is rapidly fading.
Right. I actually respect. Here's what I respect. I respect that he's written the book, that he's exposing the truth of the matter. Now he's not being
I wonder how
truthful.
much truth. I haven't read the book, of course. Why would I ever read
me
the
neither.
book?
But I mean, when I say the truth of the matter, the truth of the
That
matter.
Biden was compromised.
That Biden, compromised,
Yes.
and that people were covering for him. It's hilarious that, he's going to try to pass off the truth that nobody knew, that the media didn't know. I forget that part. I'm actually glad he put out the book.
Well, I mean,
I'm glad he
I
put out
think
the book.
don't you think they all knew that this was going to come out? Like everybody knew things were going to start talking. There was no way, and so
Sure.
he gets in on the front end of it. I'd like to know how long he had the book planned. I'd like to know how long he was working on the book. Like, did
Ooh,
you
that's a
start in
good question.
2023, Jake? When did we start
Sure.
working on this book
Sure.
that your
But I
booking
actually
agent couldn't
like that
figure
he's-
out?
I like that he's trying to find a new audience, that he's trying to save his career because, I mean, it means that he sees, even though it's possible. I'm not even going to be generous. It's not possibly, even though it's self-serving.
Oh, self-serving. Yeah.
I like that he's willing to put this out there because he's probably going to make a bunch of enemies doing this, which is fine. I'm fine with it.
Listen to this.
It's hysterical, though.
This is ex-Obama aide. So he's an aide to Obama.
Okay.
Dan Pfeiffer. And he
Okay.
is warning that the Democrats might be in a little bit of trouble.
Oh,
Shocking.
I-
Who would have thought?
I want to hear this because I'm kind of nervous. Go ahead.
The main story of this is that Democrats are in a huge bit of trouble.
Oh,
Like this, it's just there's no way to look at this without
A huge
recognizing the
bit?
massive scale of
huge
our
bit.
problems.
Huge bit.
And you can kind of tell yourself that things might be kind of okay by looking at just the shift from 20 to 24. But if you really want to assess where we are as a party, you have to look at the shift from 2016 to 2024. And
shift, not shit. I thought he said shit at first.
You got to look at the shit.
You got to look at the shit from 2024.
I mean,
This
there's
is particularly true with Latino
definitely,
voters.
definitely shit.
okay, in 20,
Or 2012. 2012 to
even
20
with Latino voters, actually, is the one group where Hillary Clinton
Did
in
better,
the Catalan
yeah.
state did better than Obama.
Yeah.
She 2 points better. But so in 2016, Hillary Clinton won 70% of Latino vote. Kamala Harris won 54%.
70?
It's a 16-point drop.
16
And then
points.
you would like to think that gender, that this is all about men. It's not all about men. Latinas moved 17 points in 8 years. Latino men went 14 points in 8 years. There is no path to the Latinos are the fastest growing population in the country. They are particularly
That's a shock.
politically powerful because of how the population is distributed in electoral rich Sunbelt states like Texas, Florida, Arizona, Nevada, etc.
Oh,
And so they're becoming more of the
California.
electorate, and we are losing more of them at a very fast rate. Like if that trend continues, there is no path to Democrats winning elections. And so we have to take that. Everyone was telling themselves stories about that maybe 2020 was an aberration because Trump made gains there because of COVID. Like there's big talk about COVID. This is something bigger than that, and we have to address that.
Nice.
the Democrats are being dismembered by Donald Trump. This is the problem, is that
The
when I
body
use these
parts are
kinds
being-
of word, it doesn't matter what clip I pick. TikTok is like, shuts me down.
Right? The body parts are being buried in Arizona, in Texas,
Nevada,
in
all
Florida,
over.
and Nevada,
All over.
So
I'm
electoral
shocked
rich.
that trans women can't save the Democrat Party, honestly.
Well, I know because
I thought they
apparently
were the great
there
white
are so
hope.
many. There's so many of them. Gosh.
The
Oh,
Democrats are
man.
done, he says. What do you
You
think,
know,
Carrie?
Well, I love it. I hope it's 100% true. And I just laugh to myself over the Democrats feeling like they can hold on to he calls it the Latino vote. Did he call it the Latino vote? I thought that was like the
He said
term. Oh,
Latino, and then he said Latina,
Latino. Yeah,
which
he
he
was
said that
distinguishing
the
the gender.
Hispanic
It's
women
interesting.
actually moved more toward Trump or toward I'm going to say
Mhm.
Trump. I don't know that it's Republicans.
Sure.
Anybody
More
likes the
towards
Republicans
towards the right. I
more
know.
towards Trump and MAGA
Towards the right.
than Hispanic men did.
Well, I just find it interesting, side note, that this guy distinguishes between Latino and Latina, you know,
Yeah,
the
he's an
two
Obama
genders.
staffer. He
The
knows his
two,
terms.
no, I'm just saying the two genders. I'm surprised that an
Oh,
Obama staffer is
yeah.
like dividing it into two.
Sometimes they
Anyway,
get mixed up too, and they
but
go back to human history over the past 15,000 years.
but
Forget
I
that it's
laugh.
all changed in 5 years.
I know. But I laughed to myself that how the Democrats believed that they could hold on to the Hispanic vote when Hispanics are mostly very traditional.
Mm-hmm.
They're mostly Christian. They mostly believe in
Catholic. I think
traditional,
Catholics are
Catholic,
Christians.
Catholic.
I'm just kidding.
They are. All right. For our listeners, listen, all the Pope jokes this morning already. Yes, Catholics are
Yeah, you're right.
Christians.
They are. They are more conservative.
Yeah, they're more
Have
conservative.
family values and
Oh
things
yeah,
like that are
family.
more important.
Traditional gender roles. I just it's
Yeah.
hysterical to me that it's hysterical to me that
They
they think
also,
they can
at
hold
least
on
the
to them.
the citizens, Hispanics, American citizens,
Yes, yes.
they hate illegal immigration more than most of
They
us, more
do
than white.
because
But they just don't like it.
the ones who have come here through legal channels or who've got here and then became legal
Yeah,
citizens,
naturalized.
however they did it, they love this country. They appreciate, like they came here for a reason and they appreciate it. Right now,
Well, and it costs them something when they naturalize. I mean, there's a
right.
cost. Maybe it's who knows. I don't know what all the things are, but it
Well, I
takes
mean,
time. You take tests. You got to learn, have a certain
you,
comprehension of English. I
but you've
think.
got to want it and you have to work for it. You can't just sneak in and be golden. So I
Right.
just they don't like the illegal. They don't like the illegals pouring in. They're like, "Hey, I'm here because I love this country and
And see, the left
yeah."
doesn't understand that because the
Hmm.
left, for all of their talk, for all of their incessant chatter
Hmm.
about white supremacy, I feel like I'm too bright.
No, you look good. Do
I
you mean
just,
too smart or your lighting
yes,
is off?
like I'm blinding my own self.
No.
Is that just the intelligence pouring off me through the camera? No.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
no, the left. I think it was
Yeah.
my light. It was a little like, whoa.
It looks good. Are you bet?
I feel like I look a little green, and I don't know why. I don't know what race that would be.
I look kind of orange because I have side lights coming. I don't know.
So anyway, back to the left. The left doesn't understand that you can hear in Pfeiffer the Obama aide's voice. Just there's a bit of exasperation. They're completely confused because to the left, for all of their incessant chatter about white supremacy
Hmm.
and how we're all just a bunch of we hate black people, we hate brown people. In
Yeah, we
spite
hate
of
brown
all of
people.
that,
Right. Hmm.
that they talk about conservatives and MAGA and everything,
Hmm.
they're the real racists.
Oh,
They
yeah.
look at Hispanics and all they see is a group. All they see
Yep.
is a bunch of Latinos and Latinas and future voters. And
Yep.
they're pissed because we let you in. And the whole point
Hmm.
was you're supposed to vote for us. And now what are you doing?
Right.
Because they don't make any distinctions. They don't look at people and think, oh, those are people. They think, oh, that's a Hispanic. They vote for us. That's a
Yep.
black. They vote for us.
Oh, yeah. If
100%.
you don't vote for me, you ain't black. I mean, that's literally
That's
a
how they
summary of how they think. Yep.
it's why they're in the position they're in because they're completely baffled.
Yep.
They never dreamed Hispanics had brains to think for themselves, that they were actually more capable than anybody on the left of being productive and thinking for
Right.
themselves. And you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, and they're very hardworking too. So they appreciate they don't like the idea of
Bunch of freeloaders,
freeloaders.
yeah.
Yep, they don't like that. They're hardworking. They're very traditional in their values. So I'm nervous though, Todd. This is what I'm nervous about. Because that sounds great.
What
I'd
does?
like to listen to that
Oh, that the
one,
Dems are going to die
yeah,
and be
that one
dismembered
clip
by
where he,
Donald
yes.
Trump. Donald Trump, just an innocent Mar-a-Lago man. Look at all the hate he gets.
Innocent Mar-a-Lago, man. That's beautiful. That's like the quote of the show right there. Um, no, I just am nervous because I love that clip where he says the Democrats just have no path. Like
Yeah.
they have no path. And I think that's beautiful. I need to hear that every day just to relieve my concerns. But I think the Dems are going to throw out there either Gretchen Whitmer, AOC, maybe Jasmine Crockett. I mean, I think they're going to put out these, dynamic women of color. And I'm telling you, they're going to push it hard and they're going to be
Wait.
blind, dumb, I'm going to say dumb people just swept up in it and say, oh my gosh, the
Well,
first woman president, it's time.
maybe since we want a woman of color on the Democrat side as a nominee, you know
Hmm.
who's out there? And she's shown that she is willing to charge into a
Oh,
New Jersey ICE facility to try to rescue her
okay.
constituents, most of which are illegal aliens. I don't know how that
This
works,
is
but the
okay. Wait,
left is just obsessed with illegal aliens.
where
They
does this
love them.
happen again? Where's this happen?
This is in New Jersey, and
New
that
Jersey.
was
That's
Newark,
right.
New Jersey. The mayor, who happened to be a black guy, and then there was
Okay.
some others, and they got
Okay.
arrested for breaking into a detention. You know, we can do
Okay.
whatever we want. Now
These are Democrats,
this is
though,
a
correct?
representative. Yeah, this is a U.S. representative from New Jersey. Her name is LaMonica McIver, and she also happens to be African American.
Okay.
So she has been charged criminally with breaking into an ICE facility. Now, that to me would be the biggest feather in her cap to be the Democratic nominee for president. They think this is one of ours. She's out there
Right.
fighting the man,
Right.
right?
Right.
So they ask her, this is they ask her about this is CNN,
Hmm.
asking her about the criminal charges. And see, I think her response puts her in the top tier of potential Democrat presidential
Okay.
nominees.
What's going to transpire now?
You fight on, you fight on, you fight on, you fight on.
She is. She's,
When your
there's no
government is
quitting her.
doing you wrong,
She's like, is this my American
you
Idol
fight
audition
on.
tape?
Go.
What happened? You quit.
She was auditioning.
It was beautiful. I could listen to that all day. I could just have her going in the background of news.
That's fabulous. What's her name?
Her name is LaMonica McIver.
Okay.
And
I
I have
feel
to
like
tell you, I don't
I'm ready
know.
to hear.
What's going to transpire now?
Here we go. She's back.
Fight on. When your government is doing you wrong.
I don't want to interrupt her. I don't want to miss a minute.
On. Oh, you fight on.
That's what we need. That's what the Democrats need right there. That changes everything.
It really does.
You get LaMonica McIver singing a Negro spiritual to a bunch of illegal MS-13 innocent Maryland men who've been dismembering people.
Yep.
That's the recipe for success.
There you go.
Dems.
That's all they need. Hey, Mr. Pfeiffer, that's their path right there.
So,
Okay.
So what do you say about the criminal
What's gonna
charges?
transpire now?
Wait a minute.
You fight on. You fight on. You fight on.
Just like in an
you fight
interview?
on.
This is Joe Biden.
When your government is doing you wrong.
They're being put upon.
You fight on.
What is the government doing that's doing her wrong? I would like to know. Like
They
what?
charged her criminally, and she has a right to do whatever she wants.
Well, and I'm curious about something. Well, first of all, I immediately hear Paula Abdul saying, Miss LaMonica, like, how long have you been singing? What inspired you to? Okay,
You say
wait.
Paula Abdul, and I think of like the 80s and 90s. Is she on something? I have no idea.
She used to be on American Idol. I'm sure she's not anymore. Long time ago. Simon Cowell, the old crew.
I knew
But
Simon Cowell was, but I didn't know much. I watched a little of like the last show of the first and maybe the second. Whenever Kelly Clarkson won, I watched
oh yeah, that's
her go
great.
up against that tall black guy with curly hair.
Yeah, I
can't
don't know.
remember his
That was
name.
before I watched it, but obviously I'm a Kelly Clarkson fan, so I know that she was there. But okay, my
Anyway,
question
That
about
wasn't your point.
Miss LaMonica. LaMonica is a state official, correct?
No, she is a U.S. House. She's a representative of the Congress, the United States.
Oh, she's
Congress.
a federal.
Yeah, she's U.S. House representative. She's
Okay,
like,
she's
she just
federal.
voted on the big beautiful bill.
Okay,
Probably voted
she's a-
against it. I
She's a
would
federal
guess.
official, and she's been charged with breaking and entering, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
I think that's I you know what? I shouldn't say. I
Something
can't
like
remember
that.
exactly what the charges were.
I'm just surprised that she still has her job, is my question.
I'm just sad I
my-
got rid of that quote because I'd still be playing that music if I could, or that clip if I could find it. But X has so many problems that once it's gone today.
Oh,
So
that one that you just played us?
I'm just gonna sing. You
song?
fight on.
Wow.
What did you get from Todd's World? You get everything.
I know. We have gospel
Song,
music,
dance. It's like the beauty.
protest.
It's like Be Our Guest on Beauty and the Beast. We can sing, we can dance.
I know. What a wild. You know what's funny too, Todd, is that people who know her like at work and who agree with what she did probably think that was a fabulous response.
They're like, you go, girl. I
Exactly.
always knew you could sing. You changed the world with that voice, honey.
Wow. Goodness.
So
So
listen.
she broke in with the mayor of Newark, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, she is
I-
back. I didn't even realize I still had
Yes,
it. Thank
you
You
God.
fight on. When your government.
I need Trump
Government.
mixed up in there with they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs.
Yeah, let's do a mashup.
Listen, this is 17. All I'm going to play today of Trump. The only clip I'm going to play all day of Trump is only 17 seconds
I'm ready.
of Donald Trump. And this 17 seconds tells you everything you need to know about why the Democrat Party is being dismembered
Yep.
and why America is on its way back. And it doesn't have a damn thing to do
Praise.
with Congress and the Republican Congress and the big, beautiful bill. This
Yep.
is Trump.
Without
Okay.
God, we are isolated and alone, but with God, the scripture tells us all things are possible. Well, look at me. I'm standing before you today. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here. Without God,
Without God.
we are isolated and alone, but with God, the scripture tells us all things are possible.
When's the last time you heard a U.S. president say something? I mean, he just
Yeah.
quoted like it's
Yep.
impressive, and he believes it. He backs up. He quotes a scripture that most people know
Mhm.
that without God, we're lost and we're lonely, and with God, all things are possible. And then he demonstrates why. He said, I shouldn't even be here, because he brings us back to the assassination attempt.
Right.
So, proclamation, demonstration, just like beers that we talk about. But that clip right there,
Yeah. Yeah.
why are the Hispanics turning to Trump? Why are Hispanic women by 17%, and probably more now?
Mm-hmm.
Because he believes in God, he believes in America, he believes in all the values that they believe in.
Right.
I mean, that's why he shares their worldview.
Right. And many of them came from from lawless communities, and they want law and order here.
Yeah.
And he's the one who is promising law and order.
He
And all the other
cares
ones are about
about
sanctuary
them.
cities and due process for rapists and gang members. And it's like, it's just dumb. And the women, like you said, Hispanic women, they want to be safe. Women want to be safe.
Yeah.
So,
And a little danger on the side.
yeah, I
So
mean, they want a bad boy, but they want to be safe.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong
Not
with it.
Dr. Ruth here, but
It's very normal. It's very normal. Anyway.
you can tell us all about it, Carrie. What do I know about what women want?
What women
Only
want? I don't know.
surrounded
You're
by 'em.
surrounded by women. I think sometimes you have some good insight.
Listen, I don't know if you remember.
Mhm.
This happened 4 or 5 years ago, maybe now. But there was a little disruption called COVID that happened. Remember COVID? Everybody wants to forget about it.
So, a side note, real quick. My mom right now is here and she's doing some work that's very it's dusty and there's it's just mildewy area she's cleaning out. And I'm like, you should wear a mask while you do
That's a
this.
good point. That's a good idea.
Her immediate reaction, which I totally related to, she says, I'm never wearing a mask again. No, this is for a different reason, but
Don't blame her.
we had a good laugh about it. COVID, yes, I remember.
You do remember
I
COVID.
remember it well. Now, you had it worse. You had it worse up in Michigan. We didn't
Yeah.
really have COVID much down here in Florida, but
Well, this is interesting. This is Joe Rogan talking about the COVID vaccines.
okay.
And he drops some really interesting. He's talking with Aaron Rodgers, the former quarterback
Oh,
of
yes.
of
Who took issue with the mandated vaccinations?
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hey, can we pause real
Mhm.
quick?
Mhm.
And then we'll get back and we'll come back to
Okay.
Aaron. Okay, we're back. Sorry, guys. You know, I got kids.
Kids, life
Even
happening.
I say kids, they're
Young
adults, but
adults.
still emergencies, low-key emergencies.
I know.
So
It's part of fun. It's part of the fun.
we're going to go right back to Joe Rogan, but before we do that, I want to make one point, because then we're
Mhm.
going to go into COVID for a while and we're going to close the show. Just so everybody knows where we're going. But this one little clip, do you remember last week? I put this out all across the fruited plain in a clip
Okay.
on all the social medias. And I said, Trump has decided the only way to deal with the deficit with the current Congress he's got is to outgrow it. You remember that?
Yes. Yeah, you
Yes.
just said that last week, I
This
think.
is Scott Bessent, our Treasury Secretary. Let's listen to him real quick.
Yes.
You're referring to the CBO scoring, I believe, which is tenure
big, beautiful
scoring, and
bill.
it's DC style scoring. So we think that
Whoops, where'd he go? Come here.
we can both grow the economy and control the debt. And what's important, Bill, is that the economy grows faster than the debt. So what I would tell your viewers to focus on is what I'm focused on, is what Secretary Yellen was focused on, is what is the total debt to GDP? Because we can grow our way out of this. That if we change the growth trajectory of the country, of the economy, then we will stabilize our finances and grow our way out of this.
Wait a minute. No wonder I was looking so bright earlier.
I know. I was just gonna say.
That's what Rush used to call him. See, I told you so's.
That's great. I mean, I was excited when you said it, but I'm especially
Yeah.
excited to hear Scott
Well,
Bessent say it
and
because
it's not like I pulled it out of whole cloth. I mean, I'd heard Trump
People talk.
and different people say different things that you just knew that's where they were coming from because they know how worthless the Republican Congress is. That's the difference.
Right.
They're working with them every day. You think you know how worthless they are? Trump knows in his bones how worthless they are.
I'm a little bit of an idiot when it comes to it because I keep having faith in these people. But I like how he said we can. Like he almost sounded optimistic about it.
Everything they're doing.
He's a pretty even keel. I mean, he's very smart, but when he speaks, he's pretty even keel. There was like a little bit of hype in that comment. Like he sounded
really
optimistic.
Like that's hype.
Just for Scott Bessent. I mean, he's pretty like
not for Todd's world.
No,
we get excited just about dismembering people.
We'd be like, woo! Well, I mean, we all deserve, we all deserve the chance to be.
We all deserve due process. That poor high school kid got due process, separate graves, everything.
Don't you think that he sounded optimistic?
Yes, I think Trump's optimistic. I think he's got optimistic people around him.
I love it.
Done. We're done with optimism. Back to the COVID jabs.
Oh no, that's right. We were talking about COVID.
There's no more room for optimism here, folks.
Oh, you were talking about Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan's talking to Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
And he drops a bomb.
Is this recent?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so. Yeah, it is.
Jamie,
I wish I had
this study, VAERS adjusted data, and other derived from the MIT Florida Department of Health study findings.
What in the hell just happened? Sorry, guys. X is not working like it normally does. So when I do things I normally do, it clicks me out. Here we go.
Yield a conservative MIT Florida Department of Health study findings that yield a conservative range of 470,000 to 600,000 American deaths from the COVID-19 mRNA shots.
That's it?
More than, well, just that alone. That's a lot of people, man. More than World War I, World War II, and Vietnam combined. If that's true. It indicates Pfizer. This is Pfizer alone.
That's
so this
just
is not
Pfizer.
Even Moderna.
Oh, okay.
Pfizer alone likely killed over 470,000 Americans. They found a 36% increase in all-cause mortality among Pfizer recipients versus Moderna.
Yeah, but they saved millions.
Yeah, I keep hearing that.
Oh, I'm like, is Aaron Rodgers being facetious?
Yes. So the Pfizer jab alone killed between 500,000 and 600,000 Americans, which is more than World War I, World War II, and Vietnam put together. So
Todd,
what do you think? Safe and effective from what that sounds safe and effective to me.
Why is this not the shocking breaking story? That to me should be like 9/11 news on headlines, on news, on papers, online for weeks and weeks.
Do you know who?
No, just but why? Why is it not? Todd, damn it! No, not you. Just I'm like, why is that? Why is Joe Rogan the one?
Because everybody out there wants to memory hole COVID. That's why I keep telling you that.
Yeah,
and you know what?
True.
That's as much true of me and probably you, not as much perhaps, but it's true of us even that we all have a tendency to move on. We want a memory hole because that was, to be fair, a real bad time.
Yeah, it was. It screwed up a lot of things and a lot of people.
A lot of people's feeling is once you get past a bad time and you're into more of a normal time, let's just forget the bit. Let's not even revisit it because there was some shit there we don't even want to think about. Okay. I just think psychologically that's what's going on, but I think it's across the mass of America. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just as a country, we decided we're moving on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna think of even though you still got people out there talking. Thank God we're still dealing with it. These studies are still being done. Here's RFK Jr., our Health and Human Services Secretary.
Yep.
Talking to Caitlin Collins from CNN.
Okay.
You know, the message was to trust the science and what studies were finding and what
during COVID, that was a bad message. It was trust the experts. That's what you kept telling us. Trust the experts.
I don't
Don't
know
try-
that I ever said that.
Well,
We talked to the officials.
your
Actually, during
network was
COVID,
saying it every day.
we took the briefings live every day with all of the experts that President
The
Trump.
experts,
Those were
but you
President
weren't
Trump's
looking at the
doctors.
science.
But those were the people President Trump brought out to the briefings.
Well, President Trump brought, and I can.
He
if
brought
you
Dr.
want to go
Fauci
chapter
and
and
Dr.
verse, I
Birx.
can tell you what President Trump did right and what President Biden did wrong. What I'm saying to you.
But I want to get back to what your comment was about that. You said that people should not take your medical advice.
Yeah,
Is
people
that's
should
your
not be-
position?
Yeah, absolutely. People should not be taking medical advice. I'm somebody who is not a physician, but they should also be skeptical about any medical advice. They need to do their own research. You know, you're a mom. If you're a mom, you do your own research on your baby carriage, on your baby bottles, on your baby formula.
But they don't have medical degrees, obviously. If you're a mom and you're looking at what science has
The
been tested,
experts.
they trust their doctors and their pediatricians.
One of the responsibilities of
OBGYNs.
living in a democracy where physicians and every sort of
I like the
expert
birds in
are
the
subject to
background.
all kinds of biases. One of the responsibilities of living in a democracy is to do your own research and to make up your own mind.
So that's your message to moms or to anyone is to
I
do your
would
own
say
research.
that. I would say be skeptical of authority. My father told me that when I was a young kid. People in authority lie. And we've seen a lot of that in our
People in authority.
country, and people in the media lie. And people need to make their own judgments and be skeptical and maintain their capacity for critical thinking. And that was shut down during COVID. And
Yeah,
the
no
media was
kidding.
complicit in that.
Disagree.
That's one of the best.
She's saying she disagrees with that.
Yeah,
of course
hear.
she
I
does.
won't let her go quick. We'll hear it.
Disagree on that last part. Secretary Kennedy, thank you for your time.
It's not the media's fault.
Right.
What do you mean? We didn't get anything wrong.
I'm not going to take part in that. Not
Jake
own up to
Tapper's the
that.
only reason you know there was anything wrong with Joe Biden.
I know
What?
Jake Tapper blew the lid off this. He got the scoop.
It's like, what is going on with these people?
I
So,
like the
yeah,
advice.
I
like
do
the
too.
advice his dad gave him. And you don't, it's terrible because, you don't want to look at your authorities that way. And you don't want to raise your kids to not to trust. But I feel like if you teach them to trust blindly and not to question anything, they do lose that. I think maybe not only the capacity for critical thinking, but also the feeling that of obligation to think critically.
Mm-hmm.
You
Oh,
know?
100%.
Yeah.
We seem to have lost a lot. I
Mhm.
love that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. gave that advice and said,
Mhm.
hey, I'm here. I'm one of the authorities, but no, don't just blindly trust me.
Right.
Like, engage your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that rings really true to somebody who's a 0 in the politeness agreeableness scale. I don't trust
Right?
them at all.
Right.
But it's
Yeah.
good. It's good that we can move that needle a little bit, I think. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Mhm.
And so, no, I think, but that, man, I'm telling you, Big Pharma's evil. I really,
It
it's
really
evil.
is.
It's just evil. We're sick.
I think we should stop advertising drugs on TV yesterday.
Did you see there was a guy, I think it was in, it was a doctor in Michigan. I think it was in
Okay.
Detroit somewhere, that
Mm-hmm.
area. And he has been charged with all these false diagnoses of cancer to patients.
No.
And
Holy
like he ran a lab or something, and so he was basically giving people this really high powered chemo, all these people who didn't need it. And when I say all
Holy
these people,
crap.
I mean 800 people. It was something like, it was crazy. And so what people don't realize is that healthcare, drugs, pharma, government, by and large now, Trump's trying to change it. RFK's trying to
Mhm.
change it. He's got a great
Mhm.
team, and they're making some big steps, but they're captured. They're captured by greed
Yeah.
and by money. And so
Yeah.
you can't trust them at all, I think and that's really a little bit frightening because
Right. And I mean, and they're human. So humans make mistakes. Humans can be corrupted,
yeah,
all of the above. Well, and I wonder if that's why everyone says get a second opinion,
yeah.
I mean, people
So,
say that all the time. And you know what? Insurance doesn't usually cover second opinion, so people don't, they skip it. Yeah.
you know what I was telling you about? Is that Scott Adams is who I was going to talk to you. You know
Oh,
the Dilbert guy who
yes.
created
I've been
Dilbert.
thinking of you the last few
You
days.
saw that he came
He's
out.
been diagnosed.
Well, he said he's got basically the same thing. I'm not confident that Biden's actually got it, but whatever they diagnose Biden with, whatever they pretend Biden
Okay.
has, they
Okay.
that doesn't have anything to do with his mind because everything was fine there.
Right. Best he's
It's
ever
real
been.
important. Everybody knows that.
Best he's ever been. Sharp as a
We
tack.
don't know how stage 5 prostate cancer snuck by the White House
No.
doctors for 4 years, but
I
somehow
know.
it's
Well,
amazing.
longer than that. They said the last time he had whatever kind of
Mm-hmm.
physical was 2017 or something. Did they say that?
Yeah, I think we
I
can all
heard
agree.
something crazy
Biden's
and I'm
been
like,
dead for years.
why? I know they're like, we don't actually have to run those tests on corpses, so that's why we
We
haven't done
just
it
feel him,
since
and he's cold.
2017.
That bitch is
Jill's like, I've
cold.
got something for that. Hold on.
Right.
We'll be right back.
We'll warm him up.
We'll be right back.
Okay.
But Scott Adams.
Scott Adams was actually has and has been dealing with this late, I think it's like a stage 5, whatever, I don't know, this late form of, I think it's prostate cancer.
Darn it.
And had tried everything, tried ivermectin, tried all these things, and basically has weeks to live, and really was facing it.
Weeks.
Just impressive the way that the candor with which, and he said there's a clip of him out there. I didn't cue it up, but
Okay.
he said it's clear that the people who were against the vaccinations were right, and those of us who took them were wrong. He blames his on the jab.
Oh, okay. He got vaccinated and he thinks
Mhm.
he has cancer because of that.
Yeah,
I
that took
mean,
off like it did because of that. He did just come out with an update that went from 0%. He said, I just started treatment that possibly took my survival rate from 0% to 30%.
okay.
So
Did he
that's
share
something.
what it was or no?
If he did, I don't recall what it was because I
I'd
wasn't.
love to know.
I
Just
don't
as
know.
as having gone through stuff and researching things, I'm curious what he did.
And I don't know that he did. I know
Okay.
it wasn't the ivermectin thing. The ivermectin,
Right.
there's a ivermectin F word not F word. It starts with F, and it's some
Effing
kind of
ivermectin.
some kind of a combination that
Yeah.
supposedly has made some impact. But he did try that and didn't have any success with
Okay.
it some
Okay.
time ago, I guess.
Right.
So
Yeah, I mean, like, I wonder if he's done like a hyperbaric chamber or, I'm just curious, like, or what's it called? Immunotherapy. There are all kinds of
Scott
things
and
you
I
can.
aren't close like that.
No,
I don't
he hasn't.
know.
He hasn't updated you personally
No.
yet. Well, I know you love Scott
He
Adams.
did say it's been he said, it's nice to maybe have some idea of when you're going to go so you can make things right and make sure you talk to the right people and do those things. He said,
That's rough.
he said, it's a very painful death. I will say that.
Shit.
Which I think,
Sorry.
death is, I don't know that there's a lot of good ones. I
Yeah.
mean, whereas if you look at my dad, the way he went, or you look at Steve, your husband,
Yeah.
you think those don't look bad. Like those are
Right.
just
I mean,
now
it's
Steve lays down and goes. My dad just
it's
drops dead. There's no pain. Now it's
right.
shock and it really well, everything I think messes with
Yeah.
people left behind, but you know what I'm
hmm
saying? But that is something of a blessed way to go, although we never think of it that way because it seems way too soon. It only happens early usually. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I agree with that though. I've thought of that a bunch of times. Like, thank God. Because you know how awful to watch someone you love
It's really
deteriorate over a
hard,
long
yeah.
period of time. Yeah, that's tough. The shock is horrible too. At
Right.
least with, I say at least, it's terrible to say, but with a long kind of what Scott Adams is going through,
You have some time to process.
you have time.
The
You have,
family.
right. So it's good lesson to tell people you love, tell them you love them and don't have regrets.
Mhm.
Get your
Keep accounts
files,
short.
get your get your affairs in order. That's a
Yeah.
really good lesson. Please, everyone.
Well,
Anyway,
listen, guys, I got one more clip to close us out on. First, I want to tell people to catch Beers with Jesus tomorrow.
okay.
So we drop news every week on Todd's World, the
Yeah.
Wildly Opinionated News Hour, which you are currently up to your eyeballs in. and talk all the time about death and dismemberment of the Democratic Party.
And we laugh about it because we're wildly
Why not?
opinionated. Right.
But then tomorrow we have Beers with
yeah.
Jesus, and we're going through Acts, and we just explore the story of Jesus. We really enjoy it. So
Yeah, it's great. And if you're
join
not really
us.
familiar with the Bible, Acts is it's a book in the Bible, Acts of the Apostles, that we're reading.
So we did Mark, which was the story, one of the Gospels, one of the stories of Jesus, and then we went into Acts, which is the continuing story of Jesus and the church that he founded. And so
Right.
those are like the two kind of story books. Well, there's other Gospels, but you understand what I'm saying. That's the story. Then a lot of the New Testament, the rest of the New Testament is letters that provide the comments and the notes on the story, and then really important comments and notes. But my point is they're less storyish than the books that we're reading right now.
Yeah,
We
this
kind
is
of
really
focus
an
on the
account,
story.
account of what was happening, which is like
And
really
it's fun. I love it.
It is. We have a good time. We have a good time doing that. Doesn't sound like
Tomorrow we're
something-
talking Ananias and Sapphira. Peter dismembered them.
Oh my God. Wait, I forgot you told me this was coming.
He was an innocent Jerusalem man.
Welcome to Dismemberment Week on Todd's World.
We won't be able to use any
it's like
clips
our Shark
anywhere.
Week. It's your Shark Week, Todd.
So horrible. Okay.
Before you jump to your last clip,
Yes.
two things. One, I know Scott Adams has just all these great words of wisdom. He wrote the Dilbert comic strip, but he also is just kind of like a great
He also
philosopher.
he's a hypnotist. He's a persuasion expert. He wrote a couple books on persuasion that are bestsellers that are real. Yeah.
That's fun. Well, I just wondered if you have any special quotes from him
Not that I'm ready with.
Okay,
no.
not that you're ready with. And I also
Thanks
wanted to
for
ask
showing
about,
that.
Oh, sorry, I just didn't know because I know you like him a lot. I didn't know if you had anything right in front of you because you share quotes of his once in a while.
He's real good. Yeah, he's real good.
Yeah.
I like him. And I don't think that I know of. I don't know for sure, but I don't think he is a believer. I don't think he's a Christian that I know of. I haven't.
Okay.
I'm not an expert.
You know what? I did hear on the news story I saw about him. I did hear that he has a YouTube channel that he's speaks on about just different matters and
Yeah, he
whatever.
does Coffee with Scott Adams every day. Actually, it pops up on my thing, and I've almost never watched it, but not for any other reason other than I don't watch a lot of things.
There's a lot. I know
all
it's
the
hard to
time.
keep up with everything, but I want to check that out. I forgot that it was like a daily coffee thing, so that's cool. My other question for you
you might want to
quickly-
hurry. Just saying. You might want to get on that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, really. If I want current ones, it's terrible. God be with him. And you know what? I hope he has a little experience or awakening of some kind.
Yeah.
Before that, while he's going through this. Are you going to talk about Marco Rubio at all?
No, but I can.
Okay.
I love Marco. I even have clips of him, but I couldn't get my clips to come up. I had
Got
to pick
it. I
and
know the
choose my
clips weren't
best
cooperating.
ones.
I just heard something, but I didn't get to see it myself. And it was
Let's see if
something
this will
where
come up.
someone was criticizing him in a meeting or in a hearing, and he had a great comeback of something. I just wondered if you had anything.
He did. I will tell you this.
Someone said he wasn't doing a good job or something, and he
Marco
was
Rubio, I have said from the beginning of the Trump administration, has been the biggest, most positive surprise. Well, it's close. It's between Scott Bessent and Marco Rubio, because a lot of people kind of thought Scott Bessent was maybe not as MAGA as we had hoped, maybe not as America First as we had hoped, but that has proven not to be true. He's proven to be fabulous. And Rubio, a lot of people, I among them, have always had some doubts about little Marco.
I like Marco Rubio.
I don't know. Maybe as a leader, whatever it is. I just kind of
I don't think he's especially. I mean, he'd be great. He'd be great as a president. I just don't think that he could make it through the election process.
I've always thought there was a rhino. Back in his past, the rhinos and the Jeb Bushes and everybody have some pretty strong influences there. And but I will say this: that seems to have been exercised from little Marco. It does seem like he has had a full and honest and genuine conversion to MAGA, because He has
Trump put his
been
hand on his forehead and said, "Be healed," and
he's
knocked
been
him down.
fabulous. He really
Yeah.
has. I mean, he's been one of the highlights of the Trump cabinet this week.
Mhm.
The news I was going to share was Marco Rubio as National Security Advisor, because he's doing that too. He's got like 4 jobs right now in the
Wait.
Trump administration. He's Secretary
I
of
thought he was
State.
okay. I'm like, I thought he was Secretary
And Trump's
of State.
like, you're doing such a good job. You can be National Security Advisor for a while too. And then he's
I
got
hope
some
he's
other
getting
thing.
paid for
He's
both.
in charge
Okay.
of USAID, I think, too. AID.
Excellent. Excellent.
But anyway, as National Security Advisor, he has just placed over 100 National Security Council members on leave. Rubio is weeding out the deep state actors who will inevitably try to undermine President Trump. So
Nice.
that was the big thing that happened, I think, yesterday.
Yeah, it was
maybe.
earlier this week. Yeah, it's just something. Somebody told him he wasn't doing a good job, and he had some snarky comeback. I just didn't get to hear
He
it
was
and see
great,
it.
and I thought I had it. Let me look it up quick, Carrie, since you're bringing it up. Let me see if I can find little Marco.
Little Mark. I'm sorry. You're being very.
I love little Marco.
You're being very critical of people shorter than you, which is almost the entire population. And Marco Rubio and
Little Marco.
Leo the 14th can't help it
Frodo
that
the
they're
First.
not, that they can't touch the ceiling like you can.
Here, this might be the clip that you wanted. Let me see. It's 40 seconds, but I think this might be the one from Marco.
In the case of El Salvador, absolutely. Absolutely. We deported gang members, including the one you had a margarita with. And that guy is a human trafficker, and that guy is a gangbanger, and the evidence is going to be clear. In the days to come, you're going to see who you went to defend.
Senator,
I'm sorry,
please,
Mr. Chairman.
Secretary
No.
Rubio has the floor.
Mr. Chairman, he can't make unsubstantiated
Senator,
comments like that.
Secretary Rubio has the floor. You had
Secretary
your time.
Rubio should take that testimony to the federal court in
Senator?
the United States because
Well,
he hasn't done it under oath. Here's another point, okay? There is a division in our government between the federal branch and the judicial branch. No judge in the judicial branch cannot tell me or the president how to conduct foreign policy. In the case of El Salvador...
Period.
Yeah.
Period.
So that was pretty good. I don't know if that was the one you were talking about. I did
That
see a
wasn't
couple.
the one, but I like that too.
That was pretty good, right?
It was, I know what it was. Someone, and I wish I knew who it was. Someone told him that he wasn't doing a good job, and he just snapped back. The fact that you're telling me I'm not doing a good job means I'm doing a good job, or something like that.
He did say that. You're
It
right.
was something like that. I just remember, but I didn't get to hear it, but it's fine. Marco Rubio, keep doing a good job.
Little Marco, go get him, buddy.
But I love that in support of what you've been talking about.
You
for
think
the
that
past
you
few
think I'm a
weeks.
heightist, like an ableist?
Heightist, there we go. A tallest. You're a heightist, yes.
Just because I called him Pope Frodo the First.
Listen, I don't feel like
I
you're
wonder
a
if he's all about
sexist.
second breakfasts.
You're not a sexist. You're not a racist, but you might be a heightist. But no, Marco Rubio, that clip you played really supports what you've been saying for the past few weeks, and that is that the judicial branch can't tell the executive branch what, who they can't deport.
Right.
It's
It's
like,
called Article 2 powers.
there you
Doesn't
go.
have a damn thing to do with Article 3 courts.
There you go.
Go. You know what? Go tell your own army how to handle foreign policy. John Roberts,
Like,
Amy Coney Barrett.
oh, you don't have one? Okay.
Wait.
See you
What
later.
about your bailiffs?
Army of bailiffs. I'm ready. Okay, Todd, what were you going to jump
This
to?
is what we're going to go out on. So check out Beers Tomorrow, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
But
Is
we
it
do
more
have one last thing where we like to
gospel
play our
singing?
craziest. No, we should play her again, though. Oh, God, I forgot. That's a good point, Carrie.
Sorry. I
You
thought we were-
fight on.
While I'm bringing
you
up the other
fight on. When you're good.
I don't know where she went.
Your
She's
government
over.
does you wrong. I'm sorry. It's
You
hysterical.
wrong. You fight on. Oh, you fight on.
That's a female Martin Luther King right there.
She's
Okay.
giving Tish a run for her money there.
This chick. This is just some random chick.
Random chick. Okay.
She follows a police officer back to the police station
Okay.
because she's so upset with how he's doing his job.
Oh, I love this.
I think we have to know this is
Is she from Florida?
I don't
Sounds like a
doesn't
Florida.
tell me.
Sounds like a Florida idiot. Okay.
It really doesn't tell me, but this is your typical white liberal like young
Okay.
chick.
Got
Okay,
it.
she's probably in her 20s and just
Ooh,
yeah, it's
sorry.
rough.
Doesn't know it.
I can help you talk to somebody.
He didn't use his turn signal!
Ma'am, can I please call you an ambulance?
And then they show her following him.
Is this his body cam?
Follow every law, but
Yeah.
that can leave the scene without a turn signal? Give him a ticket!
Do you need an ambulance?
He doesn't have a turn signal! Give him a ticket!
You need to go to the...
No, I get a ticket! He can do whatever he wants!
Okay.
It just never ends.
Okay, wait. I can hear part of this. She wants him to give someone a ticket for not using a turn signal?
Yeah, and is it not loud enough? Did I not have it up loud enough?
No, it just was hard to hear her
The
through
problem
the
is
crazy.
he's so loud. Let's it's only a minute long. Let's
It's
give her
just
her
the
due.
crazy pitch that was hard. I got it. It just took.
Doesn't he get a ticket?
Cover your ears. So they, for some reason, they bleeped the F words out of this one, and there's a lot of F words. So that's why you guys keep hearing the bleep. She's upset. I swear to God that she's glasses on, and her eyes are so big, like the whites all the way around. I mean, when the officer asked her,
She
"Can
looks nuts.
I get you to the hospital?" Yeah, this woman's suffering from something. I don't know what.
Yeah, this sounds a little.
This is TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. It's like the far end of the curve.
Yeah.
He didn't use his turn signal!
Ma'am, can I please call you an ambulance?
It's something. Because they show her following him, and then they cut back.
To follow every law, but that can leave the scene without a turn signal? Give him a ticket!
She's real
Do you
upset
need
about
an
this turn
ambulance?
signal situation.
Do you need to go to the... Okay.
This poor guy. I'm just telling you.
Okay.
Being a cop is just a thankless endeavor, man. This is your day wall to wall. Imagine.
No,
Imagine.
You're watching a video. Where are they right now? Out in the street? Like,
yeah, she's in her car screaming, and he came back to the police station. He's just minding his own business, probably going home. Who knows? Shift change, and this lady follows him. Honestly,
freaking out.
I almost feel a little bad about laughing at her, because when I'm looking at her, I think this is like it's almost demonic, whatever is going on in here.
I was gonna say, okay,
there's like a crazy that has overcome people.
The non-funny side is exactly what you're saying. Like it's so over the top. You're like, she is not okay. Which you can tell he can perceive it, because he's saying, "Can I call someone for you? Like, do you need an?" She sounds like she needs a straight jacket, good old fashioned straight jacket to just tie her up, calm her down.
She looks like that.
He should wrap his arms around her and just hold her.
Well, she stays in her car, just screaming at him.
This is from her car?
Yeah, she's just screaming at him through her open window of her car.
I wonder if he could give her a ticket for driving
I think he feels like she's already got too much going on. He just wants to get this poor lady to a hospital.
You know what? I would love to hear what her voice would do if he said, "Ma'am, can I see your license and registration?"
I used my turn signal. What the?
Does she say, "I follow all the laws" or something like that? Oh my gosh.
And then this effing F doesn't even use his effing turn signal.
I mean,
how can it be?
Wow.
What does America come to?
I'm glad her life is going so well that this is what is upsetting to her, because clearly everything in her own life is going great.
It does tell you that there's something about people, that there's people like this, they've got to be living on the edge a little. Do you know what I mean? And then, and maybe who knows what's going on, but they've got all this stuff, all these pressures, or they can't process it because they haven't been, they've been taught that it's all white supremacy. And now this white cop won't even stop this white guy with a turn signal.
Oh my gosh.
And you're living on this edge of lunacy.
Yeah.
And then it takes the slightest little nudge and you're over. And
right. Have you seen Falling Down? The old movie with Michael
think so, but it was
Douglas.
so long ago I barely remember. I knew it was Michael Douglas. He was a postal worker, his machine gun, and the whole thing.
Is he a postal worker?
Is he postal, or is he just? Isn't that? Or maybe a postal worker
He-
did it back then, and then this movie came out. And
Yeah, he's a regular guy.
there was a
but just-
postal worker. Remember that's the whole thing. You go postal.
You go postal. Yeah, he basically goes postal. He just kind of gets fed up. And it's I highly recommend it.
Do you?
Oh yeah, we love that movie.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
need to
great
see
movie.
it. It's just like I just feel I don't know. However much you think that you need to respect and appreciate law enforcement, you don't do it enough.
Right.
Just telling you.
Yeah.
The absolute wall-to-wall lunacy that they deal with on a regular basis out there in our
Right.
culture, it's too much for you know,
know.
what
I
we're
mean-
asking them to do is just a lot.
Right. You're driving, like I drive through Jacksonville. I don't know if you see this in your community, but I drive through Jacksonville and I see people on the side of the road who are kind of like twitching and talking to themselves or bent over and drooling,
Yeah.
And I think I get to keep driving, but poor law enforcement here has to like interact with these people at times and
Try to
make
get
sure.
people like this poor lady help, this poor
I
girl who
know.
just
He should have said, "Ma'am, can I help you find a meditation class?"
if only she'd have just understood. She could have followed him all the way back to the police station. If she just rolled her down her window and
You
just sang,
fight on.
it would have been okay.
You fight on. You fight on. When your government is doing you wrong.
All right. Listen, guys, thanks for joining us today. We've done all the damage we could. Thank you, Carrie.
I
Join
needed
us
to
for
laugh
beers
today,
tomorrow.
Todd. Thank you
Good.
so much. Thank you.
Just fight on. Whatever you do.
Fight on. When your government's
Fight
doing
on.
you wrong, just fight on.
That's what we were doing during COVID while they were killing more people than 2 world wars in Vietnam put together. One drug company.
I hope Trump quotes that woman's song in a speech soon.
We fight
He says,
on.
when the government's doing you wrong.
You're right.
I hope he
We
does.
fight on. When the
We fight
government
on.
tries to kill our candidate, we fight on.
Amen. Amen.
And the reckoning's coming, hon.
Period.
All right, guys. We'll catch you next week. Thanks, Carrie. See
Todd.
ya. If I can figure